more important than armor, but it does make a bit of a difference.
Yeah, it'll add up over time for sure.
Okay, double starport for special. Now that's ahead of Maru adding starports, which is important because eventually, mech versus mech, no one kills each other. After a certain amount of time, it does go into Sky Terran versus Sky Terran. And that starts out as Vikings. You can get into Liberator there. Obviously, Mass Ravens can be done. But VCs end up being part of the endgame a lot of the time as well.
Oh my god. This angle is so good. It's chipping away at special. His units are kind of bumping into each other, which is making some of them fall behind in the chase. And that's honestly a huge win there for Maru.
Yeah.
He basically chunked out a lot of that army.
Yeah, Special's going to have to siege up a little bit more defensively now. This mass Cyclone army plus the Ravens, you have to be extra careful because if he disables a few tanks, he will just bash through with the mass Cyclone. He's trying to come up once again.
Yeah, can he actually crack in here is the question.
Might be too cost inefficient to try right now.
Keep in mind with the two Ravens in the mix here, if he gets in a bad situation here, Maru does, he could just throw down auto turrets and change the math very quickly.
Disables as well.
Yeah, very true. Yeah,
situations.
both are quite effective.
Armor shred, not as much with these arms.
Not what you're looking for.
Maru's really taking some control here.
Yeah. Well, this is kind of what I was.
Special can't fight there. Oh,
all right, armor shred, take that, Artosis. And the thing is, with this many Cyclones, you will get the command center.
Oh, yes.
Look at how fast this thing dies.
Yeah, it's kind of silly. Coming up, trying to lock on to some of these tanks. Looks like he'll get one. Does have 4 tanks siege down there on the low ground for himself.
I don't have everything reset up yet.
There's those disables once again. Maru sieging forward.
Yeah, okay, I think that we are getting into a pretty dangerous area here for Special because Maru is now clearly ahead. He's taking fights and not even really trading units off so much as he is just killing off chunks of Special's army.
Yeah.
And, I mean, this is kind of the phenomena of Maru.
Yeah.
As a player is like, we don't really have another player that quite looks like this. Like, he's just so fast and so good at kind of doing everything.
He's just the best Terran by far.
It's kind of hard to go back to one specific moment and say that Special played poorly or did not have a good decision. It's just like Maru is going, he's exceeding the speed limit, so to speak, you know?
He's doing more.
You know what it's like?
What's
like, you know, we talk about APM or you know, how quick you can make these decisions in your head, and it's like, to be a pro gamer, you'd have to be like moving at 60 miles per hour or something
if I pull
like
up
that.
the restream chat,
But like, when Maru plays, it's like he's on the Autobahn.
Right now I can only see
Like, it will go as fast as he can handle it. I don't know, that's not my best metaphor, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Well,
a lot is players slow down as they get more tasks because there's just
he's got a bigger engine than anyone else.
Yeah, exactly. He just is able to output more and kind of do more because this game can almost look a bit mysterious as far as like, okay, well, what is Special doing wrong? And I'm like, you know what? I don't even know. All I know is if I look at the bottom of the map, Maru just has more now.
But Special's making some stuff happen here, right? Like he is saving this command center, and he's going to be able to kill these off. His siege tanks made some big moves down on Maru's side of the map. It looks like
there's got to be a way.
Pretty much.
I know there used to be a way you could see.
But he did kill some stuff.
Like
the problem is just, I mean, he's still in it for sure. But I mean,
from Facebook
right now, Special needs an opportunity here. Maybe it'll come as he wipes out this attack here. Maybe he can finally push into the south. I don't know.
It seems like Maru is still trying to do absolutely everything, but Special, kind of in a smaller range of area right now, is able to defend a little bit quicker. He's moving across now as he gets some big unit pickoffs. It's hilarious watching how many Cyclones are just absolutely trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
All right, the tank's going to siege up here. All right, the strong disable right there. I think he's got to not move further until he gets more units up here.
Another shutdown on that tank. So Special's kind of making it work, but I'm seeing less and less and less as this push comes forward. You know what I mean? I think that basically this is not going to work, and then we're going to go back to where Special is. He has half the number of bases that Maru has, nearly. His supply is much lower. And in fact, we can see that Maru's so ahead that he could both stop that attack over there and counterattack over here.
Wow.
Maru, bigger, faster, stronger. Really?
Yeah. No, he was. he was.
Honestly,
Special put out a brilliant game, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I think his Special looked very
he was
good.
Ahead. He opened better.
But we've casted so many Maru games where this is sort of the story is like, oh, this looks fine. And then, you know, we get 8 minutes in, and Maru's like, well, he just seems to be, he's got him surrounded, and then eventually, 12, 15 minutes, it's Maru has the entire, his
I must
entire
have this
side of the
thing
map.
set up to like auto tweet when I go
It
live.
doesn't even look,
Because
you're
I
right,
just
like
got
a
notification
It's
that like
not,
some
it's something else,
stream
and
thing
it's
retweeted
like we've
me,
been
but
saying
I
for a long
definitely
time,
didn't
right? If Maru's behind,
tweet
you're even.
anything.
If he's even with you, you're behind.
I guess that's
and
not
if
a
he's
bad
ahead,
thing.
You're already dead.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, and Special was actually ahead for a bit there.
Yeah.
Which
What
means
else was I
Maru
doing?
was
I was
even
doing
with
something.
him, and then when Maru got to even, he just started to run circles around him.
And some pretty complex ideas at play here by
I got in
Special,
some
but Maru
dirty
just saw it,
deadlift.
shifted gears, and came back.
This
Let's
morning,
go to Romanticide for
deadlift
game 2.
and Romanian deadlift. So now my back and glutes are fairly toasted. I didn't go as heavy as I normally do. I just kind of like did a few more sets with heaviest I went was 3 plates and 25s, whereas like my when I'm
when you
going
play StarCraft,
full bore, going heavy,
obviously
I'll do
any loss, you're going to be feeling the salt, right?
usually like 4 plates
then
and
the loss
25s or 4 plates at least.
You're looking and it seems
but a couple
like
times I
you're
felt
doing
like I
the
kind of tweaked my back while I was
when you're
doing
playing
that.
so fast, you could
I
feel
feel like
you're
it's better if I
playing pretty
do
and they have taken the
lighten up a
entire
bit and do
and have shut
more
you
reps
down
and more
so hard.
sets
and especially
until
keep in mind that's a mirror match.
like it doesn't hurt me
So that's even
structurally.
more
Like
haunting,
it,
because you realize if their race could do
I
that,
didn't
you
necessarily
should, in
get
theory, be able to
hurt.
do the
I just
same
felt
thing,
like
but
my
can't.
like structurally, like
So
on
that,
my
I think,
actual
was
joints,
less,
4 plates and 25s is a bit too
loss
much.
involving
Like
the strategy.
I didn't actually
the
pull a
game and
muscle
more,
and
the
it
fact
didn't like
that RTS
impede
games
much,
are
but I just
mechanical
felt
games
a little,
and do
you know what
require
I'm saying?
inputs
Like
and moving around
there's just
the map
too much
and
weight on
making
my
things.
joints. I didn't like it.
And hey,
Yeah. Sees exactly what's
do you
up.
like that I became a teenage girl for a second there? I'm like, hey,
I'm like, hi.
hi. So he spots that. But yeah, that's one of those games where you go, wow, this guy is just like able to overclock.
Well, he's been the best Terran in the world for years, and amongst them almost since season 1
Let's
of
watch
GSL.
this.
It's funny too because when I
bit.
think Special's improved
nice.
lately.
For a second there, I looked up
I
at my
think we saw
account
that
info
in
and I was
the
like,
Innovation
"Fuck!"
games.
You can see
saw
like
that in
my
Active, too.
account number
Yeah.
and stuff
Just not
But
enough.
on
it's
the
funny because,
screen,
like,
which
we
I don't
talk
think
about
you
how
could really do
mechanical
much
innovation
with
is,
just
and
the
it's very true, and historically
account
innovation
number,
does
but I
just
already
kind
have a
of
little blocker up there.
outproduce, and he
This
does like
you
to
can see my mouse
harness
going
the
underneath of it
mechanical
right
aspect
now.
of the game.
It's like
but
up in this region.
when you look at Maru, it's almost comedy.
Yeah.
You know.
It's pretty wild.
It's also funny because like there was a period. This is really more of a StarCraft 1 era, but people that were just so mechanically gifted at the game compared to their peers that they didn't have a lot of great strategies. They just produced so much.
Yes, for
No,
sure.
You
not
know,
really.
and they made for some
Bit
very
rates
interesting
bounce around
games
more than
until
I'd
the
like
game
it
was
to.
really
It's
refined
bouncing
and
between
fine-tuned.
like
But
when you can just
42
make more
and
than your opponent, that opens those
52-ish.
strategies as well.
yeah.
By the
I remember
way,
when I used to
the
have
thing I
good
talked about
internet,
last
it
game
would
as a possible
sit
counter to this,
steady at
Proxy
like
Starport
8
is
or
what he's
9K.
going for. Not
I think I have it
surprised
set
to
at
see
like
that since he does have it on
4600
the
right
map. It's
now
kind of
though,
a funny
so
location for it to be
as
in,
long
but
as
it
it's
should finish
over
in time,
4K, I can
you
get
the Liberator out.
1080 at
Yeah.
60 frames.
But yeah, that's
Although I think I might be
it's,
set on 30 frames right now, but
this
30
was
frames is good
originally
enough.
made by TY as the counter to
I'd rather
2x
not
Reaper.
test
Right.
And TY,
MediaCom
of
too
course,
much
a big
because
mentor to
MediaCom's
Special.
trash.
Yeah, they're very good buddies, TY and Special. Where I don't believe Maru and Special are actually close at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm like, start making up gossip. I'm like, they
I know.
actually hate each other.
That's what it sounds like.
No, but I mean, TY and Special talk a lot. And so you can get a lot of good ideas from him.
Now look at this, the counterattack coming down. The Liberator going to be popping out, and there are Marines being made by Maru. And obviously you can just walk the Marines out of Liberation zones and shoot the Liberator from the side. So Marines can deal with it, it just takes a long time. So the Liberator is going to be worth it. Like you could literally just sit it over a command center and never move it. And
Yeah.
it's like, it's that was pretty good. You know?
What a
Even with no
ballsy
kills, you're like,
place
all right,
to proxy
not
a fucking
bad.
starport. Right,
He's gonna pull it back.
Zoning.
Yeah, very
An
good
absolute
maneuvering
mad
there
lad.
with the Marines. The star port is going to be
Gotta grab my water.
sent back home here for special. And he's merging up with the rest of his army over here. I love the landed barracks.
Oh, man.
That's so annoying.
So many little things.
Because special's out on the map, he just drops his racks here so SCVs can't mine and starts making Marines.
This game is fucking nonsense right now.
And the longer you don't see this being attacked, the more Maru is confident that he knows special's going to attack into him. Seeing the tank come across the map, he knows it's going to be a two-base
Maru
timing
has
push.
a barracks and
Now,
special.
That's why he has
doesn't-
his Reapers at
natural.
the top of the ramp. Those are like the perfect unit.
Special
for
had a
those fights.
fucking
Yeah.
starport and Maru's
my
natural.
Oh my god.
That's like something you see one every 9,000
Now, Maru
games.
has to be careful. Mismanaging an attack like this can cost you the game. But Maru's usually pretty cool, pretty collected in moments like this. A medevac is going to be coming here as well.
Yeah, that's a good choice. Heal up some of those
What's Maru
units.
actually
Just
have
taking
right
some
now? I
damage,
think he's
though.
gonna have to abandon that natural, right?
Alright, here comes that
Oh, he
medevac.
does have a cyclone.
Oh, great pickup.
And
Utilizing
there's the
that
tank.
juggle.
Okay.
Oh, look at that.
Won't be as
like
bad as I
one
thought.
hit point Liberator is going to actually... That makes this way harder to engage. Look at
Yeah.
that. Great moves from Special here.
Yeah.
He's really parried the
I wonder if
strong
he should
opening from
actually
Maru.
land a mule to repair it, to be honest.
I don't think anything can get to it. Like,
Guess you're
maybe that's the first thing you do with this Raven that's going to pop out. Maybe you want a missile turret, but I could see a disable being utilized as well.
So now he's
I wonder
forced
how we're gonna trade
him off
today
his base.
as
There's
far
a
as the
Reaper
indexes
counterattack
go.
coming here, though. How much damage is that going to do? Oh, looks like he's actually pretty
Minimize.
prepared for it.
Streamlabs
Look that way.
here.
So the Reaper's
Minimize
got
the
the everything
chat.
to start
Minimize
murdering
Discord.
Marines.
So I can see my other.
Alright, he's not going to get it.
So
Ouch.
VIX is still at 20,
That is so annoying for Maru.
which is the market volatility indicator,
he's
kind of like
making
a fear
fight, so that's gonna
indicator
be
of the
enough to push
market,
us
which
back.
20 is still somewhat high. Although last week and the week before we got to like 28. And
Here he comes now.
last week on
Disable on the tanks, takes out that Liberator. And
Wednesday,
really,
I think it was,
really
we got to
good
20,
control over,
almost
overall
26.
here from him. He kind of just slips out, shuts
Yeah,
that
that was
down,
on Wednesday.
moves on.
Yeah, very well
Now,
done.
Can there be a counter push is what I'm wondering.
Can he counter push? I don't
Well, hold on, there's a
know.
drop
It
coming
looks like
here.
he thinks so. Yeah, but the medevac going into
But
the main base.
TVT's a funny matchup
Ooh,
in
here's
that
a little article. Spy
it's always
forms
seemed like you
ominous
should be able
pattern.
to do pushes on two bases, and now he
See what
seems
they
to
can
can
say
because
about
people have
that.
gotten so good at them.
Yeah. Now this drop was
This
amazing.
pattern
This
is
was one of the more important
market
things as well in this
continues
game. Like Maru's army
ready
was a third of the way across the map and then turned around to deal with this. So this definitely did its intended job here.
R-U-D-D-R-I-E-S-S?
Yeah.
And Special's going into
Never
mech
heard that
behind
before in
this,
my
so
life.
he's bought himself a lot of time.
But can there be another attack now? I mean, he shuts us down.
No, I think the window is closed by
Okay.
now.
Rudderless. Okay. I'm just an idiot. I read it wrong. Lack.
Again, though, as the game goes on and on,
Lacking a
I
rudder.
want to
Yep.
see if Special can hold his own.
No
That's always
clear sense
you know,
of
the
direction.
problem with long games against
Yeah.
Maru is he just sort
I
of
can see that.
Well,
I've been saying that for a little bit.
wins
I wish
on
it
every
would.
single
Like the
little
last
front. He
month
outproduces, he
almost. It's like
outexpands, takes all the little fights that he can take and comes out on
it
top.
feels like
seems
people
like
are kind of
Maru's read the
scared, but at the
situation
same
reasonably
time,
well.
like
He's making
you
yet
get a few
another command
points
center. He's
down
going
for a
into
day or
mech
two,
himself.
and then all of a sudden everyone's like,
seems like
"Oh,
he
let's
wants
just
to play
send it
mech
right
with
back
mech.
up where it was."
Yeah, it's interesting.
Which, now, hear me out on this.
Mm-hmm.
This makes perfect sense that Maru wants to play the same unit comp as you. Because there are things that you can't outplay with certain comps against certain comps.
Yes, very true.
Whereas if he's making the same things as his opponent in TVT, he's just smarter, bigger, better, faster than everybody.
Yeah.
But if he's trying to make Marines kill siege tanks, it doesn't matter that you're bigger, better, faster. They're not going to kill the siege tanks. You
Yeah.
can still win the game.
Well,
You can still win, but for Maru and his strengths, mirroring what his opponent is doing is going to allow him to utilize his speed and his brain a lot.
I see what you're saying. I like it. I think we've got to keep in mind, like, a feature of mech is basically that after there's enough tanks out, you can't really be engaged. because you know, obviously the siege tank just has superior range, and there's just not
Did
much you
I
can
add
contest
in...
that. I mean, Ravens can come in here and mute the tanks and all that, but
Wait, where's... Yeah,
that's always a little bit later on.
So there's my other
but
monitor.
This means Maru's going to go head to
Over
head
to
here
my
in this
left,
Mac
I
Arms
have
race
like my
and just try
longer
to
term charts
produce
on
and
a
outgrow
vertical
his opponent.
monitor.
Yeah, and he's actually going very heavy siege tank this time.
I didn't know if I actually had a
Heavy
toggle
in
for it yet or
game.
not.
And I think this just has to do with the wonkiness of the early game. He's made a lot of command centers very quickly, and he's just sieging up.
Yeah.
Just trying to defend to get his macro actually on track. And I mean, he's on 4 base before Special is. Special is making that 4th CC, so he's not very far behind, but a little tiny bit.
A scan over here. Let's see if Special wants to actually engage here. The scan kind of telegraphs the intentions of the attacker, so he decides to back off.
Yeah, that's a big thing in TVT. It's they actually talk about that, the StarCraft 1 pros, about how at really high levels in TVT you have to scan areas you're not about to attack, because Terran players always catch where the scan is and then reinforce it.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Yeah. You can't just scan because it does
there has
telegraph
to be
the
randomization. Yeah, because that's like what you do. You scan because like if you don't know what you're walking into in TVT, man, siege tanks will punish.
Okay, looks like there's going to be an attack coming here from the north, and he can basically come at a pretty good angle.
I don't think his army can actually do anything because it's so siege tank heavy for Maru.
Can't believe there's still actually a few people
like,
subbed.
Special has more of a
I haven't
battle
streamed
mech army,
in like
we have a more
over a year,
army from Maru. He's,
and I still have
Vikings,
3 subs, 4 sub points.
And I mean,
that
he
means
switch it up to get a little bit more
one
mobile,
definitely
like
must be
adding in
Austin,
some Cyclones, some Hellions.
because
but overall, like,
he was my
a
only
wall
tier
that you
2 sub, and tier 2
right
is 2 sub
cannot
points.
do it. We need to actually see.
So if there's
Special
3,
probably
and there's 4 sub
a little
points,
bit
one's a
heavier
tier
tank, 'cause
2.
4 against 13, I'm starting to get nervous for him.
Yeah.
But
well,
also we might see him leapfrog up into that Sky Terran more quickly as well.
Yeah, you can kind of skip a beat here. And
that's a lot
try
of
to just go into Sky
like
Toss,
Cyclone
have a smaller
Hellion
number
out
of
of,
tanks, but you have air dominance.
Special.
Yeah, 4 to 13 is quite
I
a
feel like
difference.
Cyclones are actually kind of.
So Special's gone for the more
I mean, obviously
mobile
Special's
army.
way better than me.
This is
so
all shown here by the
I probably
behaviors
don't know what
on
I'm talking
the
about,
mini-map. I mean,
Cyclones versus tanks,
it's
it's
like
like
with the exception of stuff like these Hellions.
Yeah.
And
Cyclones
really, this
cost
is
like
what
the
we
same
call a
amount
mineral dump,
almost. They're
in that
what, 25
you
less
end up
gas, but like
extra
you
minerals
can't
do
engage
much
into
with,
tanks
and
with
you can make turrets
Cyclones.
here and there, but why not make some
So
Hellions
that's like
and
a
just
lot
try
of
to run in there
gas
and
that-
kill off some SCVs?
Yeah.
Do some
But I guess they're
scouting.
really good against like an air
But,
transition, so
Special's army
they
more mobile, like we were mentioning earlier. He's got the Cyclones.
they like make it so your
roaming the
opponent
map,
can't
but
really just do an air
in the long
transition.
term, Maru may be
I'm no
bit more
rocket
powerful
oncologist,
when it comes time to
so who
attack. He'll
knows?
have to deal with counterattacks. He'll have to deal with flanks and all that. But we're getting close to both sides maxing out.
Okay, Special is jumping up into Sky Terran, but so is Maru. He's got double Starport Raven going. He's adding 4 commands. It's just, look, Special's adding 2, Maru's adding 4.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
This is what we're talking about. It's funny because it almost sounds like comic book superhero-ish, where I'm like, well, he's just faster in every way. But then you look at the games,
yeah.
I'm
Man,
like, see?
I don't know
He's
how I
down
feel.
20
Like I've been
supplies, like,
exclusively trading
94
AMD for a
CCs,
while,
that's
and
what
I don't know how
And the thing is, he's
to
right. He's made so many siege
feel
tanks,
about
he
it
can't
for
be
today.
killed. So what's
Yeah.
the next thing? Well, let's get more mules, let's get more scans, let's get more everything.
Let's get rid of SCVs so we can get more attacking units.
Sure, yeah,
If
that's-
we
I
have
think
enough
if we
orbitals,
dip,
we can
That's
just
very
we
start
probably
landing
won't
mules.
dip below
Let's automate our jobs, take them
this
away
like
from humans, give them to
76
mules.
and a quarter-ish
For sure.
range.
Yeah.
They're way better at it. Can't even blame them.
Armor Shred comes down
But
here.
unless Q starts,
And
Q's
easily,
and Spy
Special
start
is just
jumping up,
chased
I don't
away.
really see us getting above, like,
Try and get a few
certainly
lockdowns
not upper
there.
80s.
Battle cruisers are actually what Special's going into. I like
I guess we
battle
did
cruisers in
tap
Terran
down
versus
here a few
Terran,
times, so there's been decent
but you have to be a
consolidation
little bit careful,
here.
right? Because if you get on top of them and you're the
So maybe
Viking
we'll see
Raven
a
guy,
move back
you can
up.
disable. So Special has to really be careful with how he uses these BCs.
Yeah.
See how she
Probably
goes.
fly them out to a fringe base and attack when you realize that the Ravens are out of range, and then you have to jump.
I'm not going
as
to
the
trade
Ravens
it all
come.
until market open, though. Sometimes I put in
As the
some.
Ravens get there, it's
I
just
make a few
paperweight.
orders pre-market, but without having
So Maru's
like a
already
good
reached into the
feeling
top right.
of the directionality.
He's now going to start to
I'm just
dominate
gonna
the
sit
bottom
back
center.
and kind of watch for a bit.
And look
And,
at this. Siege tank, turret, Sensor tower.
So StarCraft 1
This is
TBT.
StarCraft 1 TBT.
Yeah.
100%. And it's like mass tank turret into BC. Yes, this is StarCraft 1 TBT.
Probably jinx it by saying this, but
TBTs
can't believe
are
we're not
historically
dropping
the
frames
longest
and
games.
shit.
But I think part of that's because
Media
it's harder
comms
to move
holding
big armies
true.
in StarCraft 1. StarCraft
Siege
2 is
tanks
a bit
are
more
just-
fluid. Yeah, moving siege tanks in TBT is just a headache. in
Siege tanks in
SC1.
StarCraft 1 are way better than in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, but it's just, again, a lot of micromanagement there. But he's pushing up into this area here, and I'll be honest,
Cyclones
man,
already
he cannot
can't
afford to
attack
lose
into
this. Now
tanks, and
here
then
comes two battle
having
cruisers.
the anti-armor missile
Yeah,
from the Ravens.
I'm not sure if he jumped these or flew them, but either way, they're doing as
He just
intended,
flew.
right? Like, he saw that all the Ravens were on the other side. Oh, okay, it looks like he's going to turn some of them around now.
I think he's sending these Vikings back over here. Keep in mind, these can always warp away. Nice, just shoots down the tank.
High value. 10 SCBs, some turrets,
Yeah,
siege
that was
tanks,
good play.
lost mining time.
And I'm pretty sure he
Another
just
tank.
flew them, so if he
Great.
sees
These
the
species have
Vikings
been
and
amazing.
Ravens, he can just yeet.
But the thing is, you have to do that a lot for a very long time. Oh, actually, disabling these tanks that are setting up the containment in the center. Luckily, has some Cyclones here to come up, but yeah, it looks like he will.
New
clear the tanks
Terran
pretty
meta?
well.
Cyclone Hellion,
Okay, he shuts
Raven
us down
Viking.
quite nicely.
I kind of like Raven Viking just
Yeah,
main
so
Get
tank.
him out of there.
Now, again, guys, watch the
He
mini
actually
map.
got the disable on it.
Such
and
a
everything.
gas-heavy army.
That's funny. Okay, so now he can start to take this out here. Keep in mind that
Man, that's a
Morrow
lot of
has,
Ravens.
like the two bases at 6 o'clock. Special only
Throw
has
down
one, and he's trying to come in here and take
turrets.
this one out.
Oh
Hey,
my
nice
God.
fighting back here from
He
Special.
doesn't have
Yes.
enough energy left to throw
That
down
was
mini.
amazing because just about everything he had got disabled there, and then he jumped on top to save his tanks. That was awesome play from Special. Look at
Special
this.
fighting back pretty nicely here.
Some insane tactics coming out on both sides. That was awesome.
Maru basically has every base that he can get on his side. Special's not
Insane
taking the bottom
tactics.
left or the one closer to the center.
I should fuck around with my extra lights. Try to get these set
This is an
back
awesome
here.
game.
Yeah. So, how many Ravens are in this game right now? So there's 12 over here for Maru, but there's none for Special.
Yeah.
He's got his 5 BCs. The BCs, of course, they get a lot of sustain. They can do a lot of damage. They can mix up their positions. But Ravens can silence basically an entire army when you have this many.
Yeah, it's true, and we saw that, but he did jump on top of it as well, I guess. I almost feel like you could go Ghost here against Maru.
You see my
3
basketball hoop on the wall?
It's so crazy what he's doing. Okay, that's a lot of
I had it
Cyclones.
nailed to the wall, but I didn't,
That was painful. That was so many siege
like
tanks
where I
as well.
wanted it put up, I didn't hit a stud. So the nails just kind of slowly vibrated
Special
out.
not maxed out anymore.
And I
No
don't
real
have
pain.
any screws to put it up, and I'm
More
too lazy
PCs
to
and
get any
tanks on the way.
screws to like hold it up
Okay.
more securely.
God!
Take
So I
these
just
tanks
duct
out
taped
over
it to
here.
the wall.
There's the armor shred.
Yeah, but he's going to be able to kill everything here. Look
Yeah,
at this,
that's
the
true.
anti-air is gone.
Yeah, there's just nothing left. So he wipes out a decent amount. Now he's just retreating with these tanks. The Ravens flying away.
As these Vikings
I need
come
to
up,
get
he's gotta-
my.
He's got to go do something else. Do we have the jump?
I have a
Yeah, he's going to jump. He gets away with those
another
5.
aux cord
Yeah, save ball.
extender.
Ken, is it not possible
Whoa.
then for Maru to
Why does
just
this
come
sound
back
weird?
over here and bash his way through this position here?
Did I pull it out of here too?
Oh, maybe.
I have another
Thing
aux
is, Ravens,
cord extender
Like,
coming
they're
because
utilizing their energy.
this
so
one
he
that I
has to wait
have
some
started to
amount of
shit
time before
out,
he can
but I'm
disable
not used to not
everything.
having it. So normally I
gets
have
up
like
here.
an extra 3 foot of cable, so I can like
Doesn't
get
seem like he's
further
gonna-
away from the
Oh, he
computer.
might actually just
Yeah.
get the CC.
Yeah, he just catches it.
Dude,
Oof.
those
And again-
lock-ons with Magfield are insanity.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Are you adding more Vikings in here?
Thanks, Tasteless. Very cool.
He's going to
Really?
come down again.
He has countered these BCs super hard, but there's still a lot of siege tanks being added in here.
Mara's
They're
gonna
going
go
to gather
in, right?
back up.
Like
And it
Viking
looks like Maru's
Raven
eyeing this 12 o'clock spot.
can very
I think he
cost
basically just
effectively
decided that he can
engage.
just take fights at these 2 locations over here. That's all he's really going to need. Okay, so
You
this
get
is
the
a
Ravens
lot
out
of
of there.
Cyclones locking
Get the
on,
Ravens
a
out of
lot of
there.
disabled BCs.
And repair
One
them.
is finally picked off. He might get a second one. It's going to get kited away.
Why would you leave the Ravens there if they had no energy?
Well, the siege tanks
I guess it doesn't
do
matter.
some work here
Yeah,
as
Maru
well.
wins.
It just seems like Maru's
Like
army is
Raven,
actually better.
BCs are dope,
Special had a
but
really cool
Vikings
idea,
and
Maru's
Ravens
like,
are
no,
like
no, that's
exactly
actually not
what
how
you
play
want
the game correctly.
to engage
Yeah, I
into
would
them.
tend to
Like
agree
Vikings
with
are
the way
just
that Maru's
better.
doing it. It's like
And if you have the right
set of units that
counter them,
grinds
you can
things
just
down.
kite the BCs all day.
But if you're playing against Raven Viking, it's hard to make the BCs work. He's actually made them work better than I've ever seen anyone do it in this situation. But a lot of times what you see when it's like, when BCs are more what you want to do, you'll add in those Vikings as well, so that you can actually kill Ravens. Here it's like the Ravens are just being retained throughout.
And the
Yeah, you pull those Ravens back and
can
heal
actually
them.
outmaneuver the battle cruisers. And so now we have the BC reset here. Terran is not able to mine from these two 12 o'clock bases. And again, Maru basically has everything. Yeah, there it is, GG. It's the same kind of ending where Maru just has
all right, let's look through
more of
semiconductors here.
Special getting the lead in 2 games with Mech and then not able to do it against Maru's
unfortunately, no.
better play, unfortunately.
Well,
Nvidia looking
so cool
strong.
because
Like AMD kind of gapped
I
up
like what we saw from Special, but you can
right
see
away
Maru
this
looked at that and
morning,
said,
but it's
oh, I
gave
know
like
what
half
this
of the
is.
gap back.
This is
Went from like
actually the wrong way to play the
77-10
game. Let me
to
keep making Ravens.
Yeah.
77
You know,
90.
obviously Raven Viking versus Raven Viking gets
Marion.
difficult to play.
I'm kicking myself for
Right.
missing. So like I've been
Special
tracking
trying to
this
play it a different
SEDG. I made a good trade on it
Again,
a few
he
weeks
made some
ago.
really great moves
I
there.
bought it
Really
like
love the
right in
top
this
on top of all
region.
the,
Oh yeah, you can't see my mouse.
the
I need
tanks
to
that got disabled to save
do
them and
this.
everything, but
Right?
at the end of the day, he wasn't killing any Ravens.
Yeah.
unfortunately.
No,
Okay.
no.
Like,
So I bought it
So we're gonna go to
right in
light
this
speed for
region,
game 3, and man, I
a
hope
little
Special
above
can
75,
recoup here. I hope he can come
275,
back.
and I sold it
Honestly,
at
I do feel a little
294,
bit like the
which I
writing's
felt
on the
really good
wall.
about
just
because it
seems
got up
like
to 295 and then just
Maru
gapped
has a
down
better
like
grasp
crazy.
on the matchup.
But I'm kicking myself for
Is a
missing
better
this off
player.
of 200
Let's
because
find
it's
out.
like
Let's
a
see.
double bottom right here,
Our
boom, like
game's
bottom
loaded
right
up.
about 200,
Guys, this is game
bottom
3
right
of
about
Best of
200
Five.
again. I should have just taken a stab at it with a tight loss, like a tight stop loss. Like bought it at 200 with a stop loss of like below 199 and then wrote it up, because if I would have taken the same size I took on it here, which was, I think I took 350 shares here, but like here in theory I could have taken 400 from here, holding it for like most of last week.
Not even
That'd
using his
be
hands. Crazy.
$21,000 profit
Got the
on that
DDR
trade
pad out,
from
just playing StarCraft
from
with his
200 to like 250s on 400 shares. I'm kicking myself for not taking that. Just like I am for not taking Nvidia like a week ago. I saw the same kind of thing happen. So like this green line is what is that? Let's see, 200, 100-day moving average. It got below there, kind of about tapped the 150-day here, but the 150 was acting as support. It taps, comes close again. I should have taken a stab at it. Like even if I wouldn't have caught the bottom half of this candle right here on the daily chart. Let's say I bought it as it reclaimed 550 with a stop of like
So it
548 or 5,
gone to the lab,
you know,
and this is what he's come back
545.
out with, and he's going to try his best at it as much as he can. And
I could have
see what he can do.
grabbed like 100 shares and wrote it up.
You can't play Bio against Maru. He's too good.
I'm not comfortable with swings just yet because like I've gotten so used to scalping. Like I see green and I just kind of take it. But one of these days, once my account's a bit bigger and I can afford a little bit wider of a stop loss, because that's the thing with swings is you got to give them a little more room to work a lot of times. But when they work, you capture like a wave. Because I think at the end of the day, scalping is like it's making it harder on yourself, really, because you have to be, you have to send more orders, you have to be right more consistently, and you have to manage those orders more actively. Whereas with swings, you're like, I'm going to take a stab at this, let it run for a couple days, and then like if it plays out how you're expecting it to, you just
and it's a very difficult dance because it's like
take profit, and you don't even have to sell all of it. You know, sell
more Ravens. That's really good. But
sell like 75% of it and leave 25. with a stop loss at one of the moving averages,
so you
you know?
position, do things with those.
So then if it keeps running, you keep
fights
making
as
money
much
on a
as the
portion of
Vikings,
it,
Ravens.
and you
Yeah, he
lock
just-
in
he
a certain
skipped that
amount. So like say
completely,
you have 100
It
shares,
was an interesting take on it.
sell
It was working for a little bit.
75 shares or
But
so,
it seems like long
leave
term, as long as
25
Mario
on, you
stays
lock in
calm,
the profit, and if it comes back down a
It's,
bit and gets
kinda
rejected, then it's like you sell those 25 shares still in the money. But on the other hand, if it keeps running, so
Now,
like
in
if
this game, we're
Nvidia
still
ended
waiting
up
for
going
things
back to
basically develop here.
like
It's been by far
almost
our most
650 like
passive
it
game
was a month or so
of the
ago,
series.
then you're still making money on
they're
those
pretty
25
mirrored
shares.
So far.
It's funny because we had an extremely close match to start the night off.
Someday.
Surprisingly, Zhao actually wins. And then
Yeah.
everything else has been one-sided.
Well, yeah, one side. Yeah, but some of the games were close in each set.
That's
right?
true.
So that was kind of nice, even though it was 3-0.
Well, I think there were points in time where these games with these two have been close, but
Yeah, no, I
by
think
the
both
time
these
it
games
ends,
have been.
it's just
And
Mario.
I think this one is likely to be close, and I think Maru's likely to win it.
Yeah.
So that might just be the story for the night.
Semiconductors are still looking really strong though.
StarCraft's so hard.
Almost everything had a red day Friday,
Looking at
but
how good specials
it
play.
held pretty
It's like,
good.
well, sorry, buddy. You have Maru. That's it.
Well, it's what makes the game so intimidating, but also so rewarding.
Yeah.
Is like, first of all, you have to just know so many things and be able to do so many different things. And there's so many games where you get into a completely bizarre, unique situation. We see it here in GSLs too, where it's like, oh well, this is like not really a game we've actually casted in the last 10 years. But you got to have the instinct. You got to have that understanding. You have to have played so many times. Maybe you've experienced this before. You kind of know how to handle yourself.
Dude, by the way, this is double starport for special. Double starport. Now, like he's going one tech lab, one oh, wait, no, that's two tech labs? Oh. This is so weird to see. Maybe he's like, that Raven was a good unit. I should make those. He's making them out of two. He's not going to have anything on the ground.
I think Raven Viking, like I said, Raven Viking's way better than BC.
Remember when the Hunter Seeker missiles dealt damage?
Yeah.
And they were the only thing people did in TVT?
Yeah.
And then remember later
you
on
mean
when
the golden age of StarCraft?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
And remember later when they did much, much, much less damage, and they were the only thing people made as well?
Yeah.
They were like,
you watch a bunch come out. And
there was a 75%, if I recall correctly, damage nerf, and it was like, oh no, this is still.
It's like, this is still probably the best way to play the game. It just makes it longer and look uglier.
But things that are free are very good, guys.
Yeah. Well, also the fact that you can cast spells.
Do you remember those
easily.
games back in the day, like the era they're talking about,
Which
where the Raven had PDD,
fix that. Just make it
and
just like the one unit to do it.
Yeah.
I don't
right
see
after
what
the
benefit
Swarm
is
Host
of
came out,
out
it was like
all your storms.
Zerg
Like
would
it was,
spam
like, it's
Swarm
okay to,
Hosts
like,
and Terran would spam Ravens,
grab
and
one or they
then
cast it all
it'd
at
just
once.
be, and like the PDD could block the Swarm Host
Pretty
shots,
damn good,
so
you
it'd just
say.
be an endless wave of like
Now, both sides.
Swarm Hosts sending out free
Going for
units,
extra
and
bases.
then the Ravens,
Ravens
hopefully your
on both
Ravens had
sides,
enough
special
energy,
force
and
getting
you
higher.
put out PDDs to block the Swarm
Special's
Hosts.
actual ground army is laughably small right now. Okay, he scans and sees double star.
I remember watching Avilo play a couple games that
my
lasted like well over an hour. I remember he had a game that was like
Have you ever seen
3 hours 15 minutes that was just Ravens
this.
against Swarm Hosts, and then he
Seems
was
like
like
it was
piloting.
Seems
Every
like
once
it
in a while,
probably
he'd
should
pilot
put
a
little bit
few.
closer to the SCVs too. It did
He'd
seem
pilot
like
a
he
few
kinda just put it out
Hellions
randomly.
around
Yeah,
to kill what he
4
could.
SCVs, a siege tank, lost mining time
Yeah.
is not nothing.
What you're saying to trade that for spells that were cast.
Yeah. It's like, well, is he going to lose the game for not having those spells for the amount of time it takes to regain that? I don't think so.
Watch Mario's like, yeah, of course. He comes out and kills him. I'm like, oh, okay. Sorry, Mario.
That would be pretty legit. Backfield on both sides. A little bit quicker here for Maru.
Yeah.
That does make me a bit nervous that Maru might be able to get across the map and actually do something. You see that? I love the turret on that one Cyclone where it's looking behind him so it looks like he's walking backwards the whole time.
So he's going to come up here and look for a fight. This is right as Magfield Accelerator's finished upgrading.
Ooh, he's got to move those siege tanks. Oh, this is going to be tough. All right, a lot of auto turrets going down. joke I made earlier coming true.
Pull back those Ravens, special.
And this is, you know what? Handily
Ravens
shut down
cost too
by
much. If they're
Special.
fucking,
Not
if
bad
they're
at
in the
all.
red,
Yeah,
you gotta
lost
pull them
one with
bitches
Ravens
back and
during
repair
that.
them.
Still
Didn't
has
lose any
3
of his
total.
siege tanks. Solid.
But Amaro apparently isn't finished. He's going to rotate up here and try to come in and blindside the soft spot of the expansion.
That's a good choice.
Siege tanks are going to have to get into a better position.
Yeah, I guess with the sensor tower there, it's a little bit hard to actually make it happen.
to spring an attack on there.
Love this title.
Two armories
CDC says
coming down
massive
now
for
for Mario.
Cox. That's a good one. The Benzinga Dick should be live in about 15 minutes.
But important to note that Morrow is basically keeping a healthy rotation here. He's keeping map control. He's keeping the threat of an attack from any one angle. Such a realistic possibility that let's see how exactly Special deals with it. And Special decides to try to confront it.
He's stressing me out having to move these siege tanks back and forth. I gotta be honest with you.
Yeah. All right, the Cyclone's kiting very nicely. Takes out that Hellion. 3 tanks.
The Cyclone Magfield accelerator upgrade
Now, again,
along with
probably mass expand here.
Yeah, and also keep in mind that
anti-armor
some
missile.
of the behaviors from both
Man,
players
that
are
would
being
be
mirrored
some,
from game
some
2.
shit dying real quick.
We had
This
a
Magfield
special goal for
accelerator already
mass
does
Cyclones,
insane
3 at a time.
damage.
Mara went kind of more old school, 3 tanks at a time.
You know what?
I don't know if
Maybe
we're
I'll
going to
get
go
a
to
quick game in.
graduate to battle cruisers here for Special.
Well, he's already gone Ravens somewhat heavily.
I'm
so
in
he's
the
not
stocks
gonna
and
be out Raven for a
bonds.
bit, which is really important. You know, obviously the disables were playing a huge role of things for Mara when he was pushing around the map.
Thing
Yeah, sure.
on Twitch, but it also
Special
says watching
gonna be
SC2 in
expanding
my
info
title,
players,
so
going up to 4 bases right now.
and I'm not going to trade until the
Not gonna
open
choose
or
that
really
fight.
close to it.
Yeah. Probably not worth it to hit there.
Yeah, I think once you scan and realize the amount of siege tanks that he already has out sieged, this battle mech is not gonna like actually break through anywhere. I don't think.
I don't think so. But let's keep in mind that the idea here for Special is to try to be the one that's actively creating threats here so he can try to out-expand Morrow. What was funny about the last game was Morrow both out-expanded and was passive.
I think I need to start playing random again because
Mara's adding another command center.
Protoss especially has been pissing me off lately.
Special trying
in
to take,
Terran,
up
like
to 12 o'clock
TVP.
as well.
Oh, that's funny. Disables
Whenever
that
that happens, I feel like if I play random for a while or just play the other races and try to learn them better, then I end up being like mentally better off.
Okay, he's just not reacting.
Because even if I lose a lot as I'm playing Protoss, I see what the other people are doing, like what the other Terran players are doing that is beating Protoss, and I can try that. Although I have a pretty specific style, I kind of play Cyclone Hellion versus everything.
The answer is no.
Yeah, Maru
Maru just completely wrecks that attack.
smacked that back.
Yeah.
That was after a Hellbat killed
Again,
9 SCVs as well.
They're both playing a different style, and it just does seem like Maru has a better handle on the matchup. Like, it seems like he understands what Special's trying to do, and he's like, oh, all I have to do is do
This
this.
guy was Zerg, right? Yeah.
Special keeps trying to break things, but there's so many siege chains.
So what I'm gonna do here, assuming he doesn't do some sort of Rotrollan or some sort of garbage, is like a Blue Flame Hellion Cyclone attack into Mac.
Breaking off huge amounts of their army before they even get to fire at first.
Special continues to mass up this battle mech. We have more starports now for Maru, so he's adding Liberators. Let's see what else he ends up going for. There are a few Vikings out still. I mean, if he has that air control, the thing is, Liberators aren't going to do that much against pure battle mech. We don't have any siege tanks. Normally, Liberators are to break siege tanks.
Go scout with this bloke here.
Basically, right?
Right.
You have more Vikings, so you can set up your Liberators to push back the siege tanks. But what if he doesn't have any siege tanks? Not something you'd expect.
No.
Oh.
And so you can see, you know, first of all, it's pretty obvious what Special's trying to do. The problem is the siege tanks just basically hammer on the army. The army runs away. Some of it's broken off, some of it's damaged. And either isn't repaired or is repaired, which is where more resources are going.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these lock-ons are on Hellions as well. Just not getting the damage desired.
That's I mean, I don't know what else to say, man. Maru is clearly better at this matchup. And
yeah, Maru's, I mean,
done to improve,
that goes without saying.
Go back and level up again.
Maru's a god.
Well, yeah, that's he's the hardest opponent you really have in the matchup, right? It's Maru, and I think Special played very well tonight, and just nothing he did was enough. And that has to be frustrating. Honestly, he's improved a lot, and I'm looking forward to seeing him play next season. You know, right now, I've always wanted to say something like this, but as far as the up-and-coming Karens, him and Bunny are the ones I'm really looking at next season to see how they do.
Yeah, I think Special definitely came in with a style planned for tonight. It just was apparently not going to work against Maru. And, you know, sometimes that's a very valuable lesson to have as a competitive player. You come in here with something kind of different, and it's like, yeah, don't do that. Because that might have worked in practice, but if I just play it this certain way, I will never lose to it, and that's what Maru did back there. So guys, we've got our final four. For whatever reason, Super Tournament seems to be where Protoss thrive. We've got Zhao versus SOS. That I am super excited to see. And of course, Travis tomorrow. You cannot go wrong with that.
No, this is going to be amazing. What a great day that this is. Travis. Who do you think takes the tournament?
Okay, I really don't know. I think it would be very cool if Zhao took it. That would be the coolest story. That would be the coolest story.
Yeah.
Maru would probably be the most reasonable. You know, if you're.
I should have left my Reaper out on the map and scouted to see if there was Roach Warren that went down. Because if there's an early Roach Warren, then I need to get into tanks faster.
Can deal with Maru where other players can't.
I'm kind of
I sent this too far.
It's going to be great. Best of 7 finals. Can't wait.
Yeah. And that's going to be on Thursday, guys. 5 p.m. Thank you for joining us. It's good to be doing Super Tournament again.
I sent that too far because I think there's usually an Overlord over here on this pedestal.
Really great games within those 3-0s.
And I like to kill it with the Cyclone before I move out.
We have to calm yourself down. This is the one tournament that Protoss is matching. So let them be. We'll see if they
Despite
can get
all you guys,
hello.
Protoss OP and having 10 rock guys do it. Honestly, Protoss has not done that well in front of him. We need this race.
Let's go kill this too.
Well,
Come here.
I think they're most likely going to pick up another victory here, because even if Maru beats Trap,
Thank you.
whoever he goes up against, like all 3 of these Protoss play completely differently in PDT, so it's a very tough day for Maru. And I think Trap is probably the hardest opponent to start. So if he beats him, I'm sure people are going to be like, oh, well, he's just going to take it. SOS is going to one base in like 6 times. And the other one's going to be
Wow, this guy's losing a lot of Overlords.
It's a hard one for him.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to be happy with whoever wins this. Again, so excited to see Zhao doing so well. Rogue was eliminated today.
Yeah,
that's wild. And that's all the time we have. Guys, we love you. We'll see you on Thursday. Stay safe.
Okay, we're in a pretty good spot here. Where's my... yeah, there we go.
베스핀 가스가 부족합니다.
아.
부속 건물 완성.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I always hate when I'm doing this and they end up doing like a muta switch, which this guy is not doing. He's sticking with ground, so we can just keep kind of pumping out tanks.
We're back. Cannot stop thinking about I cannot stop thinking about that last game. What a treat. And SOS moves on. It's sad to see TY eliminated, but this is a tournament.
기지가 공격받고 있습니다. 광물이 고갈되었습니다. 업그레이드 완료. 광물이 부족합니다.
So now will he put down a Spire? No, Lurkerden. I don't know who told all these Zerg players that Lurkerden is something you want against mech, but it happens to me all the time, and I'm completely okay with it.
Yeah, that's true. Innovation's looking very strong. Honestly, man, he's looking better than ever. Just looking so good, man. It's crazy to see how he was a couple years ago and how he is now, man. We got the chance to chat with him for a little bit there.
He knows he's in better
광물이 부족합니다.
He's basically said to us, like,
사령부 업그레이드 완료.
pretty good condition, and let's see what happens.
Romanticide like shade. 2,000 atmospheres, Oxide, and Nautilus. If we get so far.
베스핀 가능선의 건설에
What's your prediction here, Christmas?
It's hard to say. I mean, honestly,
광물이
I think
부족합니다.
go either way. I think innovation, if I had to pick one, probably is, but I think it's going to be 5. I think it's going to be one series.
We're gonna get into Liberators with the range upgrade.
Yeah, I love a good TBT, man. Innovation versus special here.
베스핀 가스가 부족합니다. 베스핀 가스가 부족합니다.
Yeah, baby.
Forgot about that. They had to move the brackets around here.
베스핀 가스가 부족합니다. 광맥이 고갈되었습니다. 업그레이드 완료.
Yep.
사령부
Special, positive.
How many workers do I have? 91.
광맥이
That's more than enough. That's too many, arguably.
연구 완료.
Seeing these two guys go up against workhorse attitude of StarCraft, really grinding out a lot. Now that I
광맥이
think about it, I
고갈되었습니다.
guess we don't get to cast these guys today against the Mega a lot, but it's sort of a innovation kind of version of that.
수행할 수
Not
없습니다.
do too many insane plays, kind of looks for the optimal way to play. He does have a variety. Overall, just kind
So
of
now I'm just gonna keep adding on extra command center.
First errands, they generally just copy innovation. But because special is actually quite close friends with TY, I think TY
보급고가 부족합니다.
with special. But anyways, because he's such close
upgrade.
What are you guys doing?
You're right. He is a workhorse. He always has been a workhorse.
수행할 수
He
없습니다.
copies
보급품이
Koreans,
한도에
and that
도달했습니다.
generally makes macro players that just
그곳에는
very
착륙할 수 없습니다.
straightforward macro plays. But yeah, I think that
에너지가
that
부족합니다.
friendship, that kind of mentorship from TY has helped Special to have a wider range to his play than he might have otherwise.
Yeah. Oh wow, they made 6-0 for Special.
Damn.
First of all, I didn't know it was going to be that much time. Second of all, I didn't realize that it faced off.
에너지가 부족합니다. 업그레이드 완료.
About how they are kind of similar to each other.
광맥이 고갈되었습니다. 수행할 수 에너지가
Gonna start making planetaries pretty much all over.
And I'm trying to remember, other than that,
부속
nothing's
건물
really come to mind,
완성.
but I mean, they go to a lot of the same sort of like,
건설 로봇이 공격받고 있습니다. 도달했습니다.
they met, but Special's in pretty good form, and I don't think he lets something
사령부 업그레이드 완료.
get in the way of how
부속 건물 완성. 보급품이 한도에 도달했습니다.
Thing is, he can kill a lot of this stuff, but he's not going to be able to kill it efficiently. Now I can just make another CC, make more CCs. Killed a boatload of drone, 30 drone kills on those.
No, that was your first time. That was the first time. There's no way that you can beating Mexican players as American players because we don't have the same qualifiers. Yeah.
업그레이드 완료.
So, yeah, but I remember beating Yeah, and sometimes you'll hear somebody's age and think they're really young.
업그레이드 완료.
I was gonna make a planetary there, but let's go ahead and just move that.
I remember when we met him in China, and I'm like, oh my god, he's
에너지가 부족합니다. 건설 로봇이 공격받고 있습니다. 기지가 공격받고 있습니다.
exactly what year, but I think
베스핀 가능천이 고갈되었습니다.
they used to always take like
광맥이 고갈되었습니다.
he was someone that I have known for so long,
광맥이 고갈되었습니다.
and like
기지가 공격받고 있습니다. 기지가 공격받고 있습니다. 에너지가 부족합니다.
the 13 when I started.
기지가 공격받고 있습니다. 기지가 공격받고 있습니다. 업그레이드 완료.
Time, and like you said, I don't think he has really mental hurdles to overcome.
광맥이 고갈되었습니다.
And Stride just continues to work hard. This is a very long-term thing for me. Like, what else would he do?
Yeah, it's, if you meet somebody who's been in acting for their entire youth, it's like, no, this is all they know. You know, this is not weird to them at all. In fact, this is probably the most special here. In this game, we've got a drop from animation special, pulls away.
Oh!
And,
Actually, I lifted all my CCs.
수행할 수 없습니다. 보급품이
Out of there.
기지가 공격받고 에너지가 부족합니다. 광맥이 고갈되었습니다.
Yeah,
연구 완료.
Yay.
I guess we technically don't know from Special yet that he's going to go
That was a longer game than I expected.
But he took 4 gases, so we might actually see him go mech.
Hey, he could do it.
Yeah, there it is.
There's a second factory.
Yeah.
Now, if he's going to go mech, this means there's going to be a
AMD
little
looks
bit
like
of
it's
time.
holding up okay.
And that's Scan, right? That's the factory up there.
Perfect.
So this is about as good of a scout. Now, I don't know if there's a window where maybe Innovation can attack or if Innovation just wants to expand yet again, but whatever that play is,
Mr. Austin, what a do, buddy.
Innovation's going to show it now because that scout could literally not have been better.
Yeah, it really could not have been. And honestly, there's like
A little
lot of
before
different ways
work
that you can
viewing, I'd
play,
imagine.
Bio against mech. You can either semi-match siege tanks.
Yeah, we're
and utilize
trying.
your
We're
broader
testing, you know.
line with
No,
them so that they can
dropped
really break
frames
your
yet.
siege line, 'cause if they try to, you stim
And I don't know
them
how
with
long
your
ago you
broader.
commented, so I'm
You
gonna
can
have to
go
like
just
get used to
mass bring
glancing
your
over
auto
at chat
medevac, try
again
to
because
outmaneuver on
I
the
can
map.
like while I
You
was in
can
that
also
game,
do
I
like a
completely
more
forgot about it.
leapfrog.
I was just like
Oh, that's an awesome move from
focused
Special.
in.
Awesome auto turrets. But you can do like a leapfrog as far as tech goes, where you go from Bio directly into Sky Terran. Right? You gain the Viking control, and then you go into BCs. And I think all of those are really valid in different ways.
Little drop comes in here from Innovation. Does get some kills.
Why does it say the score is 0-0?
Did really well.
Did I wait?
At the very end, yeah, he really pulled through.
Pretty even though, pretty even. And obviously from Special side, you know, he's going to be looking to be very cost efficient.
Oh wait.
So little bits of damage like that are not that painful for him, I would say.
Did the broadcast end while I was in that game?
Armor coming here for Innovation's infantry, but you know the two armories are coming.
I was
here for
watching
Special,
Super
but
Tournament
one
live
feature of Bio versus mech is
just
that
a little bit
your
ago.
mech upgrades kick in a little bit later. And so I think.
Oh, yep, it ended, and I missed the ending.
More than 20 million people use Grammarly every day to improve
Maru
their
had to have
writing.
won, I'm assuming. I want to just see what the very end was.
It's
Special
what makes
versus
the
Maru.
game so intimidating, but also
The tanks. You think Special go mech again?
yeah, I think so. It seems like he's
Yeah, it sent me to one. I looked at the time, and like right here where it says when it was uploaded, it was like the 17th, and I was like, what? The 17th? What the fuck?
come back.
And
now
then I
gonna
scrolled
try his
down
best
over
at it
here,
as
and I
much as
noticed
he
there
can
was one that
see what he
said
can do.
streamed 44 seconds ago, and I was like, oh, okay.
I think you can't play Bio.
I saw the first game. So wait, Maru already has 2.
well,
But
yeah,
I guess
you can't
I'll
play
just
into
watch
it,
this
yeah.
last one.
Like Bio is much faster paced than mech.
I saw the first one where
beat them a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Special tried to go
Bio, I think, is
BCs,
much
but
better.
Maru went like
Just,
Raven
like,
Viking,
so
and
much
Raven
damage output
Viking's just
easily
better
if
than
you're out of
BCs
Whereas
because
with tanks, it's like, well,
you can
you're
micro
siege,
better
early
and
siege,
Ravens are dope, and they can disable.
I don't know if he's gonna if we get a mech versus mech and it goes a long time. I don't know about him going battle cruisers again. There was a period where it seemed like they were even, and they both chose extremely different directions to take the game in.
It's normally when you do see battle cruisers, it's both players go Vikings and then both players go Raven
So
Viking.
where are we
And
at?
then
Q's and
someone goes
Spy
battle
seem to be looking
cruisers.
all right.
And it's
Yeah.
a very difficult dance because it's like, well, whoever has
Which is
more Vikings,
Nasdaq
that's
and
really
the
good.
S&P
But whoever
500.
has more Ravens, that's really good. But neither of these actually can deal damage.
I don't know how I
battle
feel
cruisers
about
can.
today overall.
And
I
battle
can't
cruisers
see,
can
like
do
a lot of
opposite.
days
You
coming
kinda
into the
get
market,
out
I'm
of
like,
position,
I'm
you
thinking
lose
today is
those,
going to be an
although
up
those
day,
don't
or
add
I'm
to the
thinking
fights as
today
much
we're
as
going
the
to see a
Vikings
little
or
bit of a
Ravens.
sell-off.
But yeah,
And I
you
don't
just
know
need
what to
skip
think
that
for today.
completely, Which is, it was an interesting take on it. And
So
it
I
was
might
working for a
stay
little
pretty
bit,
calm as far as
But it seems like
my
long
trading
term, as long as
goes.
Maru stays calm, that's going to be superior.
Now, in this game, we're still waiting for things to basically develop here. It's been by far our most passive game of the series.
Yeah, they're pretty mirrored so far.
It's funny because we had an extremely close
trying
match
to move my
start the night
lights
off,
around here.
where surprisingly Zhao actually wins, and then everything else has been one-sided.
Yeah, one side. Yeah, but the games, some of the games were close in each set.
That's
Either
true.
light's way over there.
Nice, even though it was 3-0.
Well, I think there were points in time where these games with these two have been close, but
yeah, no, I
by
think both
the time
these games
it ends,
have been.
it's just
And
Maru.
I think this one is likely to be close, and I think Maru's likely to win it.
Yeah.
So that might just be the story for the night.
Nvidia's looking really strong though. Maybe I should try to. I've been wanting to start trading Nvidia more than AMD just because it has a much higher daily range. So there's like more potential in it in a given day.
And be able to do so many different things.
But I'm so comfortable with how AMD trades. I'm so used to it.
Bizarre, unique situation. We see it here in GSLs too, where it's like. Oh,
but I guess really, if I size properly,
in the last 10 years.
then I can get used to Nvidia. I just have to like take really small share size.
You have to have played so many times. Maybe you've experienced this before. You kind of know how to handle yourself.
Like on AMD, I usually take
This is double starport.
starters of 300 shares, and then I'll get up to like a max of like 900 or so, depending on what's going on.
Wait, no, that's 2 tech labs?
Whereas on Nvidia, I'd probably start off with like 25 shares because it moves so much faster that I wouldn't want to get shaken out while I was trying to learn, like get used to how it moves more.
It's gonna have to kill every army with auto turrets. Remember when
because AMD or Nvidia isn't as volatile as Tesla, but it's like it has those same kind of like whole dollar moves. Like if you grab 100 shares in Nvidia, like 2 minutes later you could be down $200-300 bucks, and then if you wait 5 minutes after that, you could be up $200-300 bucks. You know, so like I'd hate to take like a bigger share size and get shaken out, like mentally, and then end up being right.
Yeah. Well, also the fact that you can cast spells very easily at once. Which I've actually wondered if maybe they should have tried to fix that. Just make it, you have to select the one unit to do it.
Yeah.
I don't see what the benefit is of spamming out all your storms.
No, I know.
Like at once, I'm like, it's okay to like make you grab one, or they cast it all at once. But
makes spellcasters
pretty
strong.
damn good, you say?
Yeah, for sure. Now both sides going for extra bases. Good amount of Ravens on both sides, but Special, of course, getting higher. Special's actual ground army is laughably small right now. Okay, he scans and sees double starport.
I need to brush my teeth. I didn't brush my teeth before I went to the gym earlier.
God. Have you ever seen anything like
And
it?
I feel like a jagaloon.
I like this.
It seemed like it was good.
Seems like it probably should have been put a little bit closer to the SCVs too. It did seem like he kind of just put it out randomly.
Yeah, but 4 SCVs, a siege tank, lost mining time is not nothing.
You're saying to trade that for spells that were cast.
Yeah. It's like, well, is he going to lose the game for not having those spells for the amount of time it takes to regain that? I don't think so.
Watch Mario's like, yeah, of course. He comes out and kills him. I'm like, oh, okay. Sorry, Mario.
That would be pretty legit. Backfield on both sides. A little bit quicker here for Mario.
Yeah.
That does make me a bit nervous that Mario might be able to get across the map and actually do something. You see that? I love the turret on that one Cyclone where it's looking behind him, so it looks like he's walking backwards the whole time.
So he's going to come up here and look for a fight. This is right as Magfield Accelerator's finished upgrading.
Ooh, he's got to move those siege tanks. Oh, this is going to be tough. All right, a lot of auto turrets going down. The joke I made earlier coming true.
And this is, you know what, handily shut down by Special. Yeah. Not bad at all.
He only lost one of his Ravens during that.
Still
Didn't
has
lose
3
any of his
total.
siege tanks. Solid.
But Amaro apparently isn't finished. He's going to rotate up here and try to come in and blindside the soft spot of the expansion.
That's a good choice.
Siege tanks are going to have to get into a better position.
Yeah, I guess with the sensor tower there, it's a little bit hard to actually make it happen.
to spring an attack on there. 2 armories coming down now for Maru.
And now we wait, Tasteless.
But important to note that Morrow is basically keeping a healthy rotation here. He's keeping map control. He's keeping the threat of an attack from any one angle such a realistic possibility that let's see how exactly Special deals with it. And Special decides to try to confront it.
He's stressing me out having to move these siege tanks back and forth. I gotta be honest with you.
Yeah. All right, the Cyclone's kiting very nicely. Takes out that Hellion. 3 tanks at a time here for Morrow. Now, again,
he'll probably mass expand from here.
Yeah, and also keep in mind that some of the behaviors from both players are being mirrored from Game 2. We had Special go for mass Cyclones, 3 at a time. Morrow went kind of more old school, 3 tanks at a time. I don't know if we're going to go to graduate to battle cruisers here for Special.
Well, he's already gone Ravens somewhat heavily, so he's not going to be out Ravened for a bit, which is really important. You know, obviously the disables were playing a huge role in things for Morrow when he was pushing around the map.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Special going to be expanding in, both players going up to 4 bases right now. Yeah, not going to choose that fight.
Yeah. Probably not worth it to hit there.
Yeah, I think once you scan and realize the amount of siege tanks that he already has out-sieged, this battle mech is not going to, like, actually break through anywhere, I don't think.
I don't think so. But let's keep in mind that the idea here for Special is to try to be the one that's actively creating threats here so he can try to out-expand Morrow. What was funny about the last game was Morrow both out-expanded and was passive.
Yeah. Well, Morrow's adding another command center.
Yeah.
Special trying to take up at 12 o'clock as well.
Ooh. Yep. Oh, that's funny. Disables that Raven.
Yeah. Doing anything he can.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. That's a great move.
Okay, he's just not reacting to this.
You can't outrun a Hellbat. That's an old saying, you know?
Yeah. A big attack comes in here. Liberation zone set up now. Siege tank sieging up as the armor shredder hits this army. Is this enough? It seems that the answer is no.
Yeah,
Morrow just completely wrecks that attack.
He smacked that back.
Yeah.
That was after a Hellbat killed 9 SCVs as well.
They're both playing a different style, and it just does seem like Morrow has a better handle on the matchup. Like, it seems like he understands what Special's trying to do, and he's like, oh, all I have to do is do this.
Yeah, Special keeps trying to break things, but there's so many siege tanks. The siege tank is the best mech unit.
Yeah, well, the siege tank is what makes mech a desirable tech option. Is the siege tank will hit before anything else hits, and when you get enough of them, you're breaking off huge amounts of their army before they even get to fire at first.
Yeah. But Special continues to mass up this battle mech. We have more starports now for Morrow, so he's added in a couple Liberators. See what else he ends up going for. There are a few Vikings out still. I mean, if he has that air control, the thing is, Liberators aren't going to do that much against pure battle mech. We don't have any siege tanks. Normally, Liberators are to break siege tank versus siege tank, basically, right?
Right.
You have more Vikings, so you can set up your Liberators to push back the siege tanks. But what if he doesn't have any siege tanks? Not something you'd expect.
No.
Oh.
And so you could see, you know, first of all, it's pretty obvious what Special's trying to do. The problem is the siege tanks just basically hammer on the army. The army runs away. Some of it's broken off, some of it's damaged, and either isn't repaired or is repaired, which is where more resources are going.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these lock-ons are on Hellions as well, so just not getting the damage desired.
GG, I mean, I don't know what else to say, man. Morrow is clearly better at this matchup. And Special, for all that he has done to improve, is going to have to go back and level up again, because this was...
Okay.
Well, he's the hardest opponent that you can really have in the matchup, right? It's just, it's Morrow, and I think Special played very well.
I had to brush my teeth and get some coffee.
He did was enough, and that has to be frustrating, but... Honestly, he's improved a lot.
Man, Special's cutting the LBs. Remember how girthy Special used to be? He's probably lost. I bet he's lost at least 50 pounds.
Are the ones I'm really looking at next season to see how they do.
If not more, like 80 or 100. He's lost a lot of weight.
Style planned for tonight. It just was apparently not going to work against tomorrow. And, you know, sometimes that's a very valuable lesson to have as a competitive player. You come in here with something kind of different, and it's like, yeah, don't do that. Because that might have worked in practice, but if I just play this certain way, I will never lose to it. And that's what Maru did back there. So, guys, we've got our Final Four.
Nice.
For whatever reason, Super Tournament seems to be where Protosses thrive. We've got Zhaun versus SOS. That I am super excited to see. And, of course, Trap versus Maru. You cannot go wrong with that.
No, this is going to be amazing. What a great day that this is going to be. Trap versus Maru. My God. Who do you think takes the tournament?
Let's see if there's anything else good on. Hey, I'm on. That's good. Ooh, I'm behind a couple weeks on the Huberman podcast. I usually like to watch that in the morning when I'm at the gym because there's some good info in there. I don't remember watching these, but apparently I did.
I faded all moves. I made all my money fading
guys
stupid
are
money.
saying.
And buying up at $28, there's no other word for it. It's just dumb money. Dumb money.
I'm not gonna lie, like I try not to be too judgmental or a dick, but I usually don't like this Money Mitch guy's personality. He's too much like, I don't know, it seems like he does a lot to try to put on like a character. Like, hey, what up guys? This is Money Mitch. And then sometimes I can't get by. He'll say guys like 4 times in one sentence, and I'm like,
I'd be in big trouble. But $28 paying that now after we knew about this event coming.
But I tell you what, Joel is another one that
all right,
his voice gets on my nerves a little bit.
All
right, let's go ahead to the
other stocks in the news.
Well, you mentioned it a little bit earlier. I want to mention a little bit about Eli, and we could take a look at Eli. But Phil Mickelson there, what a win! This is his actual 6th major victory, 3 Masters, 2 PGA Opens, the oldest ever to win a major championship in nearly 150 years of the history of the major competition.
Oh, so, I was like, what's Phil Mickelson got to do with
Eli?
Ticker
and
ELY?
Just to show the chart really quick, can you show golf?
He uses
People don't know about
clubs,
this.
I assume.
Man,
I don't know very much about golf or pro golf.
People don't know about golf.
Moving.
Look at that move.
Seasonality, folks. There is always seems to be a rally in the golf stocks during the spring. It's funny how just simple this market is. Rob Friesenbright Trading specializes in all this stuff, seasonality, and he's got all his algorithms that look for what is, in looking back, even what's, this, yeah, we're in May, June, what typically performs well. I will tell you, golf stocks typically perform well in the spring, and this is definitely the case with GOLF, with Eli. It's another one. Which other one am I forgetting? The 3. Golf, Eli. Chad, help me out. Can't remember.
Look at this win.
No, not a big deal.
I know
there's
the
3 golf plays that I usually
NASDAQ
play.
on
I don't remember
Qs.
the other one.
I pointed this out on Money Mitch.
You know how much money it takes to make a wick like
Eli,
that
not
on
only because
the Qs?
of the golfing play. I mean, a lot of people are really focusing on their acquisition of Top Golf. Top Golf is going to be an extremely, I think, play for the summer because people are going to want to go out, have some fun,
I
get
love
together.
Top Golf. When my mom lived in Dallas, we went to a Top Golf, and it was
you're going to be fighting to get a spot.
I think it'd be cool to start a franchise here, like in the Quad Cities, but
again, if
you'd only be able to have it open like half the year is the problem.
It in the early spring, where golf was $40, now it's $52. You're coming out of, and you've had the big move in ELY as well from 26 to 34. The move, these money's been made. Buying golf in March and probably selling it in June. I mean, it's a spring play. Golf is a spring play. Hot summer start coming. People aren't going on the courses as much as they are in the spring. Everybody's excited to get through winter. Spring is huge for golf. So it's funny how just, your normal, traits act and show up in the stock prices. There's huge money and huge alpha generated from just playing seasonality trends. Seasonality trend says you probably book your profits in these stocks now.
I got 9 holes in with my nephew on Sunday.
Nice. How'd you do? How'd you play? It's a first golf.
I've been on a couple over bogey. I'm not any. I either par or double bogey. You know, par.
That's pretty good golf right there.
Better than me, Joe. I'll tell you right now.
I mean,
my baseball swing
par
does
like
not
once
work.
every 5 times out there.
I would like. No, I've always
I've had some
get
really
a couple.
lucky
You know, then I
rounds
get a
of
little
golf in the
cocky.
past.
But, anyways, couple setups
not
here.
very
I'm not going to talk
good, but
about
I
the long
get
side
lucky
here because you're up
quite a
on kind
bit.
of light volume.
Like I remember there's
For
this
you
one that
Callaway
was
traders,
like I knew
let's
nothing
just-
about golf, and there was this shot where like you tee off, and usually you want to. It's like there's a huge valley with a pond at the bottom of it, and the green's on the other side of the pond, and you're kind of like a little bit above the green, but like there's this huge valley, you know, and it's not too far of a drive, but generally what you want to do is try to lay it up on the top of the hill on your side of the valley and then pop it over the valley on like the second stroke. And I think it's a par 4. And this one time I just decided to tee off with like an iron, like a it's not a huge, not like a really high number, but like a 4 or something like that. And I just fucking crushed it, you know, just pure luck. And it went all the way over the pond, landed on the green, and had backspin and landed like within a foot of the cup and went in. I remember like my dad and a few of his friends just being like what the fuck? And I'm just like, I don't know. And I ended up getting whatever it is it eagle? 2 strokes on a par 4? Whatever that is. Driving's my worst part of my game, easily. Like, I only golf a few times a year. Actually, I don't think I've golfed since, like, 2016 or 2017 at all. But, yeah. Driving, I'm terrible. Chipping, pretty good. Putting, pretty good. Driving, I'm like, this is either going to look half-ass decent or it's going to be way out in the woods or, you know.
What do you guys think about these comments, and how do you think they're really going to affect the market here? And maybe our semiconductors and infrastructure stocks, a little bit of both, I think.
I'm not seeing much reaction here, to be honest, in infrastructure here. This morning's rally is pretty much one of those. The markets are moving together right now, and you're seeing even the value stocks trade up, the growth stocks trade up. It's been this way for the last few days. The markets are kind of moving together. So I'm not seeing any separation here this morning. We've come in some days and you see some stocks up, some stocks down. It's kind of an everything rally. A little bit of maybe some of your consumer staples are trading down because it's a risk on day, and we know consumer staples move opposite to that. But I'm not seeing you know, a lot of the infrastructure stocks just blast off here. Actually, I'm almost seeing relative weakness. So I'm not, or actually, maybe you should be seeing that with what Biden said, but not seeing much reaction in either direction, really. They're kind of just there.
The semis are getting a pop, you know, because supposedly 52 billion is for that. But I think the only thing, if
Qs are up 0.72%. I mean, Micron. Like I always look. This is, you know, if you want to know.
I think
like,
with that infrastructure thing, AMAT is going to be the real play. If they're allocating money to semiconductors, AMAT is a company that makes the Applied Materials. You just said it.
I don't
ticker AMAT, AMAT
I don't think the market
makes like the raw components that other semiconductor creators use. From what I understand. I don't know a ton about the company, but I've heard that mentioned a few times.
The stock split hit that pre-market high at like 610, and then it fell
Nvidia's
there
doing
in
a split, huh?
And pulled back, but getting through that 610 area is important. Intel's still holding that.
Nvidia plans to do stock split 4-to-1. Ooh.
So,
I'm in Intel as well.
Yeah, just,
that means it's going to move a lot nicer too. Like I was just talking about a little bit earlier. I want to start trading Nvidia, but it can also like Nvidia can really buck. Like you can see every handle here is a whole dollar. So like it can really move. And if they do a 4-to-1 split and that makes their float, you know, 4 times larger, it's going to move in a more fluid manner. It's not going to move so choppy, which I tend to like.
Friday to 41.85, but we faded. But you know, now we're right back up here.
It'll lower the ATR a little, but
either trading range,
it'll move.
Or let's bust into that 4,200 handle. I believe the old-time closing high is up in the 42 handle. I think I saw.
Man, I wish I would have caught that thing off that 150.
So that's definitely
that 150-day moving average. It used that as support a couple times, and I didn't take a stab at it. Same with this SCDG. From 200 to 252 in like 4 days. That could have been a $20,000 trade. Oh well.
To catapult us to new highs. I think it could be. This is a really tough market to call here with the crossroads. So we're going to get more information after today. Today's rally can hold and we can build on it. Then you take an all-time highs. If today's rally gives back for whatever reason, then that's concerning because then you're not making new highs. It's very important that this market makes new highs in the next couple of days. Because if it doesn't, then it could start rolling over here again. So I know like I'm kind of betting both ways here right now, but I'm just saying I'm not convicted in either direction here right now. Sometimes I come in and I think you got to sell stocks or I think you got to buy stocks. I'm wishy-washy here. I'm kind of like, I can't figure it out.
Just for note, you have end of the month on Friday. Last trading day of the month, May 28th. Also a very important day.
And then a 3-day holiday.
Yeah, and a 3-day holiday. And be 32 years.
3-day holiday for what?
On Friday, too.
Wow, congratulations ahead of time.
Hope I have a good week.
What day don't we have trading? Is there no trading this Friday? Is the market closed Friday?
But, yeah, so you got the end of the month, boom, and then you have a 3-day weekend. Everyone's going to be feeling good going in that 3-day weekend, Memorial Day, perhaps the worst of the pandemic's behind us, reopening. People are going to be outside partying, so there's a lot. A lot of times you see it like a rally into those 3-day weekends, so we'll see what happens.
All right, guys.
Why is it a 3-day weekend?
I've been looking at, and we can get into it. We talked a little bit.
I
hate the chart up right there. Looks like Gordon Johnson was on this morning
trading
on CNBC talking a little bit on Tesla. Looks like we're getting closer towards testing back down towards that support. Where is this one?
I'm with Michael Burry on this one. The same guy that the movie The Big Short is about. He's got a huge short position right now against Tesla. That I think he entered in, somewhere a little over 700 or so. But there's way more competition now. Yeah, Tesla's still a great company, great product. I love Elon, mainly because I don't trade crypto, so I know a lot of crypto traders hate him right now. I think he's a super smart guy, great company, great software, but there's way more competition now with NIO and XPEV and all these other EV makers. And the valuation of Tesla has been really high as it was, so I'm definitely more bearish on Tesla. Oh shit! I didn't mean to pause it.
We're ways away from that. I think 67. I think that's just over the top. I don't think it's a $67 stock. But I do think that there could be some pain eventually ahead. But this is storied stock, and if story stocks get hot, if Kathy stocks get hot again, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
I think somewhere in that 400 to 500 range is more reasonable for it. Where's it at right now? It's at 580.
Until it can get at least above 600. Let's see. If it gets above 600, then maybe there's a trade up to 650. But right now, guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah, you nailed it. I was following this with a buddy of mine that's trading it, and I said, opening it up into, I believe it was Tuesday's high.
Coming down.
Was 596 and a quarter, and you opened right there, 96.11. You went to 96.68. Hey, close enough to 600 for some people. Little bit of a weak close, 580, 588, 8088. So you got two numbers there, right at the same area. So I like, holding 580. It looks good, but I also the trading range thing. They're gonna need a catalyst to bust out over 600. Yeah. Got to get away from that 540 area. I just, hanging out down there, that's the monthly support. I wrote about that earlier in the week. I said moment of truth, and it held. So support is support until it takes it out.
All right, guys. Guess what time it is, guys? It is Monday.
See, he says guys too much.
For market.
All right, guys, guess what time it is, guys?
All right. I'm super excited. I never get the chance to be with Tim, so you guys definitely do me a favor in the chat. Hit the like, hit the thumbs up. My man's in the mountains. Guess where I'm heading, Tim, in a little bit? I'm going to Mount Princeton.
I'm heading to the Springs. Princeton. Good to see you, Mitch.
Hey.
Well, that's terrific. What's going to take you up to Mount Princeton?
I'm actually, I have my dad visiting, so I'm going to take him up to the Springs and go relax a little bit in the mountains. I know you appreciate that life.
Well, I'm going to give you a little helpful local color. Don't call it Buena Vista.
No.
The locals call it Buena Vista. It's Buena Vista. And don't laugh. Don't laugh at that.
I love it.
Okay.
I'll take the tip.
And there's one of my favorite. In fact, I have it in the kitchen in the fridge. Eddie Line Brewery is in Buena Vista, and it is my all-time favorite. You'll have to stop by after you soak in the hot springs at Mount Princeton. Head over to Eddie Line and have a couple of brews.
Will do. All right, guys. So last month was really one of the toughest months, I think, really of trading. I went through it myself since the pandemic correction in March 2020. What do you think
last month
about
was good
these
for
trends,
me.
Tim? Are these
last
trends going to change, or
3 to 4
is this kind
weeks?
of the beginning, the end? Where
I've
we
been
at
green
in this
every
change?
week.
Well, I would be curious to hear what Joel and
Knock
Dennis
on wood.
have to think about that. I caught just a little bit of the tail end of your discussion about Tesla, and if Tesla is a touchstone for the markets, well, look at how challenging that's been. I presume that you spent part of the morning talking about Bitcoin. And
where's Bitcoin at? I know it's been selling
Dutch
off.
tulip chart that you see in Bitcoin presently. That's some obscure historical humor for those of you who go back to 1536 and the Great Tulip Mania.
Just me and you, Tim. Just
okay, Joel.
Tim, do you do sentiment analysis on crypto?
Oh, okay. Bitcoin's coming back up a bit. It got down to like 32. It's at 38.
So for traders, if you've
Ethereum topped at like 4,200. It's at 2,400.
Market structure. That's a jargon term that you will hear bandied about far too infrequently, but it means the behavior of money behind price and volume in context of rules. And there's the challenge for us, Dennis. So the national market system in the U.S. has a set of rules that create mathematically measurable outcomes. Math does not apply to fear and greed. You have to guess at it. But if you have a set of rules that govern how money has to complete an obstacle course to get into and out of the marketplace, that can be measured. And that's what we do. We build software and algorithms that look at how trades complete that obstacle course. And there is no such obstacle course in cryptocurrencies at present. I'm sure at some point there will be. So we have to revert to fear and greed. And you see those convergences periodically, and I think we're at one. I don't know that it's the end of the run. To me, these are all very logical outcomes of an inflationary period. We have had an inflationary period. How do we know? Well, look at industrials and materials and financials. They're all up 70%, 60 to 70%. The last year. Well, why is that? Well, if you flood banks with money to push it out into the economy, it's going to make its way into industrials and commodities. That's what happens. And at some point, it will stop. To borrow the Stein's law from Herb Stein, who's the father of Ben Stein, who said famously, if something cannot last forever, it will stop. And it's a funny line, but I think it appropriately addresses where we are. So it has been a very challenging period. In the data, to me, there's a very clear reason for it. The question is whether we can regain the kind of footing we've had from March 2020 to present, with occasional blips. And I don't know the answer to that.
One thing you can probably do, Tim, is look at some crypto stocks, though, and look at the sentiment there.
Absolutely.
Let's look at two that are traded very closely with crypto, Riot and Mara, because these obviously are miners.
They both
trade
sold
closely
off
with Bitcoin. Bitcoin
boatload.
gets hit, they seem to get hit. They have been hit a lot harder relative to where Bitcoin is.
Yeah.
Is there the potential for a turnaround in either of these stories, RIOT or MARA?
Let's see. Let's see if the data miners even permit those.
Let me get out my internal
right.
money market structure machine.
So
one or two on Riot here. I don't know what it's going to be after today, but it's definitely
1 or 2. Okay.
Yeah.
He's trying to guess where you're at.
For you traders, if you want to follow along here with what Joel Dennis and I are doing, go to marketstructureedge.com, hit free trial, and you can sign up, you put your name and email in, and you can do the same thing that I'm doing here. And so let's lead into this. Look at this. Here's the entire tech sector, 420 components. As of Friday, the sentiment in that group was 4.7, just returning to 5. But look at short volume. See, generally what you want when things are going to perform well is that the short volume trend, that's the percentage of daily trading coming from borrowed stock. It's the supply chain. And when the supply chain surges supply like that, as sentiment begins to rise, it tends to mute prices, because prices rise when demand exceeds supply. And when short volume rises at the same time, supply and demand equalize and prices don't do as well. So I would look at that and say, well, tech is offering us opportunity again, but the opportunity is not going to be as good. So now let's drill down and look at Riot blockchain in here. And so I'm going to go over here and just type in the ticker to pull that up. And look, Joel, you're spot on. You're getting better and better at this market structure thing. It's a 1 out of 10, and it's only 39% short. Not great liquidity at about $4,100 a trade. I like to trade things that are north of $5,000 a trade, but it's bottom. So let's look at this and say, well, what would history tell us is the condition? It's interesting how bad these data are. If you look at this, really the data have not been great in Riot blockchain since back here. Here's where we had a strong rise in sentiment. It gets up to 10 out of 10. Short volume jumps above trend. That's where you leave. You could come back when the sentiment once again rises above 5, but this deteriorated. You know, it didn't. We would not have made money here. This is once again the Archegos capital effect. It was the one time in the trailing 12 months where stocks did not behave according to what sentiment indicated, and we wondered what in the world was going on. Well, I think that's where counterparties blew up. Since
if you don't
then,
know,
it hasn't
Archegos
been able to
Capital
get
was a
back to
huge
10.
hedge fund that blew
there.
up
And
not too long
where
ago.
is it now?
Maybe
it's a 1, and short volume is a little above trend.
4 or 5 months ago,
what
something like that.
What happens if you buy a 1? Not much in Riot blockchain.
They
you
were
want to buy
worth, you know,
rising
tens of
sentiment
billions of dollars,
and weaker
and
short volume, and I don't see it. So what does that tell
blew
us?
up.
Well,
I can't
it
remember
tells us
specifically
is,
what couple trades
you know
they
how
really
I love
messed
to
up on,
throw
but
out,
I know one
theological
was
references. So it's
VIAC.
The Book of Ecclesiastes talks about times and seasons, right? So there's a time and a season for everything. It is not the time and season at the moment for Riot blockchain. And maybe that tells us cryptocurrency. When Riot blockchain gives us strong sentiment, once again, then we could come back to them.
Maybe Mara looking the same way, I assume.
Let's see.
MARA.
Let's see, we've got that. There it is. And almost identical.
Yeah.
Bot 1.
That's why I pair these up together.
Yep.
This is the pair trades that I do Mara versus Riot. There's a reason, because these two track each other very closely.
You are, and you know what you're doing, Dennis. That is, and it's exactly right. It's almost identical. This one did a little better, gave us a 10 2 times, and then deteriorated. It actually made it through the March period. Didn't perform well. I mean, if you'd bought the rise above 5, and then you sell the return below 5, we'd have lost a little bit. Buy the 5, return below 5, not great. It's not the only thing we do. That 5-5 is a good thing. Buy an uptick, sell a downtick. Buy a 1, sell a 10, or mix those combinations. Those are the things that work. But you can see that these stocks are spending more time below 5 than above it. And it's a great read for the whole market. If the market is spending more time in a range, it tells us that supply and demand are equalizing. And so you see here, this is not yet the time. What you want to watch, traders, you could put these you could set up an alert for them. When they tick up, that's the time to look at them again. But you're right, Dennis, neither one looks good right now.
Vegas made a good comment about a scanner need to build a screen for stocks moving from 4 to 5 with short interest going down.
You can do that. Piece of cake. So if you want to add a portfolio and do a screen like that, and I have them, and you could set that up dynamically so that those things always furnish themselves to you. You can do rising sentiment between 4 and 5, short volume in a range or less than 50%, and it will tell you every day what you've got. In fact, I use that as an indication. Overall, I'm going to look
Seems
at
like a pretty dope tool. I wonder how much, like after the free trial's done, I wonder how much they actually charge for market structure edge.
And it's been stuck up here. The time to, it's fascinating to me how much this was right. This really gets back to your initial question, Mitch, about why has it been so challenging? And again, this is a market structure way to think about the way that the market works. And you think about all the narratives we've had over the last roughly 6 weeks. We've had the great rotation to value, then the return to tech briefly, then fantastic earnings. We have a Goldilocks period where public companies are going to crush earnings. Everything is perfect. Jobs are growing. And then, whoa, wait a minute. Earnings disappointed. Then we had fear of inflation. Then inflation fears waned. Then inflation fears returned. Well, was any of that right? Over that whole time, this was from the period when the market topped on April 13th.
Inflation directly doesn't actually really matter that much for asset prices, though. If anything, it'll make them go up a bit
and the whole
as a
market,
direct correlation.
This is the dark
it's
line.
the inverse relationship between inflation and bond yield that actually drives stocks down.
Sentiment dropped below
because as
5,
inflation goes up, bond
that's
yield
when you
looks
buy.
more
When
attractive,
it peaks,
and
this required tremendous
and then bond yield
patience. And
looking more attractive, more big money flows there because they're safer. So then money gets pulled out of equities and put into bonds. But like as a direct,
was telling us, don't do
compared head to head, inflation doesn't really do anything to drive asset prices down.
Money is back in the market. This is telling us that institutional flows to the market halted for the first time since the end of March 2020. And that is why the market stopped rising. The question will be, is this downturn in sentiment that is returning to 5 going to give us an entry point? I don't know the answer, but I'm looking at it. And I can tell you, you look at the trend lines all across the dashboard now. Look at airlines and cruise ships. Yeah. There is a nice trend line. Look, if you go down to materials, get out. You shouldn't be in materials any longer because materials are not the place to be.
Nucor had a crazy run.
Look at industrials. Industrials are below 5, and short volume has
60
shot
to
up
106
to a 30-day high.
in a few months.
In that. Materials. Sentiment is falling, short volume is rising. The exact opposite is what we talked about with the House of Mouse last week. Sentiment was falling, short volume was rising. Now those are beginning to change, by the way. You can start to look at Disney. But that's what you want to see. This is Chinese stocks. Look at that. Boom. If I had to pick one thing, as the song by Finger 11 goes, if I had to trade it all for one thing at this moment, I would take the FANGs because the FANGs haven't gotten back to 5 yet. And short volume, while rising, is well below the market average. Right now, it's 45.3% in the S&P 500. So I would look at the FANGs. I own SHOP. So I'm looking at that. That's where I think the money's going to be. But I think the cycle is going to be short. New options trade today.
If you're still in chat,
banks will true up the books on the ones that expired last week and the ones trading today.
23-month streak.
Could be bumpy. Wednesday.
That's impressive, especially since I haven't streamed
do we
in
have a good trade in
literally
there?
like
Maybe.
15 months.
If I sum this all up, I would say we have gone through.
But we're getting back to it.
Institutional money reassessed the
we're
values.
Grind upwards.
And is it going to come back? I don't know yet. The jury is out.
I think this is good talk. You know, one of the things that I've been noticing is in this market, you definitely need to adapt with the rotations. And that's why I think it's so important to really stay with, like you're mentioning, with the trends, because if you didn't adapt in this market, that's where you've really been seeing.
I'm going to try to work in. So I'm going to mute these guys for a minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to work in. I started working a job second shift, so that I wasn't living off of only my trading profits, because it got really annoying. Like, I'd have a good week or a couple good weeks, whatever, and then I'd have to take out most of my profit to pay bills. And then you start the next week and I'm like, damn, like I'm at the same point I was. So what I'm going to try to do is stream most days, at least until I have to go to work. I don't work on the weekends currently, but I'm thinking about trying to pick something up for like weekend mornings or something. But yeah, stream most days, maybe stream some during the trading hours, but then like today I'll probably end around the time the market's opening, but then come back after a few hours and play like some SC2, maybe work in some Modern Warfare or something like that. But yeah, I'm going to try to work in at least, I'd say at least, let's see, somewhere between 10 and 20 hours every week of like consistent streaming.
Citadel and Trading and QuantLab, all those folks they're running little models and
mostly to Twitch, but I think right now if my bit rate and everything keeps holding out, I'll probably try to do Twitch and YouTube simultaneously and cut Facebook out, because Facebook's like, I'm not going to monetize Facebook ever, whereas Twitch and YouTube may be able to be monetized to some degree.
At least at this point, this can change.
Tim, do you have anything where...
Yeah, and you'll have to let me know. Message me on Discord. I know you said Monday, Wednesday, Friday for your stream schedule, and that's pretty much when I'm working. So like what I'm doing right now is literally just part-time, second shift, just enough to like cover some of my bills. And it's Monday, like right now I'm working literally Monday, Wednesday, Friday night. But message me on Discord, because what I can do is leave my PC or my or my phone up with your URL, so that way when you go live, it's playing out through my PC and stuff, giving you that extra viewer count, you know. And then of course, if you're ever live on the weekends, like I said, currently I don't work on the weekends, but I might try to pick something up for a few hours on the weekend. One of my buddies is a manager at a restaurant, and he said they're struggling to find people, and what I would do, they have a position called food running, which I did in the past, and it super easy. You're not the server, you don't take orders, so you don't have to like have the annoyingness of like messing up an order or doing something like that. Literally, you stand at the front, like where the cooks are, and you just carry orders to the table. And I was averaging like $15 to $17 an hour when I did it. So if I could do that for like, you know, maybe the lunchtime business for Saturday and Sunday, and then stream the second part of the day, I feel like that'd be pretty legit. Because if I can account for with that, I've already kind of done the math, and with that I would account for all of my bills through the second shift job in that, and then I could not have to keep taking money out of my trading account. You know, like the last couple weeks I've been green 3 weeks in a row now. 1 week was like 1,100, 1 week was like 700, and then last week was kind of a slow week. I was red on Monday and then green the rest of the week, and it kind of like canceled out. I think I ended up being green like maybe $100, but then I have to pull like 800 or 1,000 of that out to cover bills, whereas I'm trying to work enough so where I can build this account up more and more. Because if I can get this account to, you know, double or triple where it's at now, then I won't have to work other jobs. I can trade big enough to be able to like live comfortably off of it.
Thanks, Tim.
All right, guys, there you go, guys. There you go. First time having Tim on. I can tell you that.
Because right now I still consider myself to be kind of a noob as far as trading goes, even though I'm like almost 2 years into actively trading now. There's still a lot of stuff that I don't know and haven't experienced as far as market cycles go and understanding of the market. And no matter how good your understanding is, it's like not everything plays out in a rational or way, you know, which is kind of the fun of it. But as I get better and win more consistently and my account gets better and then I can trade bigger, those things kind of, you know, it's kind of a synergy effect where getting better gets me more gains and allows me to trade bigger, and then I can trade bigger and I'm better, so then, you know, you're picking up what I'm laying down.
You can look at an arc, that'll quickly tell you if growth is catching a bit. It definitely is at 1.56%. And then if you want
NASDAQ about to, well, Qs, which is the index that tracks the NASDAQ, is just shy of 330.
I'm looking at 200 stocks. I can quickly just look at my screen. But if you don't have
SPY at 417
right
again.
Now, what's DIA doing and what's the Qs doing? You get a quick look right now. Is this growth versus value because the diamonds are
Dow Industrial 343.
So it's more of a growthy day than a value day, at least this morning. But that can all change.
All right, 856 here. Spoos are just itching up, just making new highs. We just went to 76. We're up 23 handles. We got to see what happens here at 41.85 even. That was your high on Friday. Caught a little cold off it, but man, we're right back up overnight. So either A, top of trading range here, or we're just busting out again into the 4,200 handle. Do we cover all our stocks? I know we didn't have much
3-4 minutes ticker time.
Yeah, we'll do
Once I get more confident in trading too, I'll probably trade my whole, or stream my whole trading session. But like right now, being like trying to get back in the swing of trading and, well, no, I keep reversing what I'm saying. Trying to get back in the swing of streaming. I don't want to worry about like what's going on the stream side with dropping frames and this and that, and the pressures of like trading and executing my trade properly. So I'll probably end, but I think sometime in the near future, within a few months, I'll try to be comfortable enough to trade and stream simultaneously.
Close at 33.40. That's a minor target. There's nothing up. You got a pair of highs just under 239. That's your level. That's not your level for today or tomorrow. That's your level for the week. 2 daily highs right there, 239. I don't know if I want to try and draw the 50% retracement in, folks. You let me know if you think we got the low of the move. But keep an eye on 239. If you're caught short this thing or you want to try it long, the close at 24.35. I don't think you're going to get that low. You might have to stick your neck out above that. Maybe 225, 226, 227. I don't know. Goldman's pretty powerful. This thing's been beat up. You got, if there's any shorts out there, any people that were accumulating on a decline, could be a little bit tougher today.
All right, definitely seeing a lot of people still talking about Palantir. If you didn't catch that talk, definitely go back, guys. We talked about that contract. Seeing Unity Software being mentioned right now. Let's take a look maybe at that one. That's you.
I'm still long it. We know I bought it because Michael Pachter was on the show. I bought it at 87. It went all the way down to 77, like literally 2 days after. So, or actually, was that after the low? Anyways, I think it was actually after that. I don't think it went down to 77 after Michael Packer's thing was on last week, but it went down to 82 or 83. I took some major heat on it. Last 4 or 5 days, it's starting to come back. I put this on. I want a little more growth in my portfolio, and Pachter liked it, so I was like, I'll go with Pachter. I think there's room to 100 here. I'm sticking with it for now, but I've been in it for about a week and a half.
Short term, we're at potential resistance here. Pair of highs from the 4th and 5th of May, 95.29, 95.30. You can see you get through there, You get to work into a gap fill at 96.52, and then next daily high is not up until 101.44. So 95.30. That's my focus here in Unity software.
All right, guys.
I'm so glad we don't have to wear masks anymore in Iowa.
Let's get up to
like our governor put out like something that basically made it so anywhere in public can't like mandate masks. So the other night, for the first time, I went to the grocery store and just didn't wear a mask. I was just walking around like, yeah. And you could see some of the liberals still wearing masks, and you're like, yeah, okay, buddy. I just think it's funny, like, it's whatever. I don't care really either way. If I have to wear one or not, it doesn't bother me. But I went to the gym consistently through the entire pandemic. My gym only made us wear a mask to check in. Like, you wore it up to the desk to check in, and then you could take it off and work out the rest of the time. I did that the entire time. Never had any issues. You know? So I feel pretty... I'll hedge my bet that I'll be alright at this point. Need to get my level 2 proper here. So I can read the tape, have my time and sales. If you're scalping, this right here and this down here, like right above my head, are the most important things to watch, like once you're managing a position.
Get hold up to that. It's an important day for the market.
I took a couple tickers. I'll start with
level 2.
Stay on for a little bit. I'm going to do Big C and Fastly, and then give me a few more tickers here before the open.
Definitely, guys. Put those in the chat, guys. Put those in the chat, and we'll get rolling through. Now, one thing I do want to mention, and I'll let Dennis get on out of here if he has to go ahead and trade. All right, Joel, if you want to stay in the chat, we will always appreciate you being in the chat.
All right, take it away with the IPO Warrior.
Definitely. All right,
back
guys.
At 3:30 with Mitch.
Definitely, guys. Stick to at the close. We're gonna have some fun today.
Yeah, I think I'll do the same. They're ending. I'm going to end for now, but I'll probably be back by about... If I'm back on, it'll be around somewhere between 11 and noon, and I'll be live until like 2 or 2:30.